The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was officially titled and dated by Nintendo last week, and fans have been combing through the new trailer looking for clues that point to the content in the next mainline Legend of Zelda game. Well, today I'm going to go through that trailer with you in minute detail and pick out 10 things you may have missed from the latest trailer for Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Zelda content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. Well, before we get stuck into the video today, let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to with the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and what details did you notice in the trailer that got your attention. Well, without further delay, let's dive into 10 things that you may have missed from the latest Tears of the Kingdom trailer. And first of all, at number 10 is the device attached to Link's hip. So the Sheikah Slate was one of our main items in Breath of the Wild. That gave us access to various runes to control gravity, stasis, and also magnetism too. This time Link appears to have something else attached to his hip, or perhaps it's attached to the Sheikah Slate. Well, now Link appears to have some cylinders attached to his hip with some liquid inside, and some of these vials or cylinders appear to have liquid inside and some not. It could be this is a new addition to the Sheikah Slate, or perhaps it's separate from the Sheikah Slate. So there is speculation going around that this could be fuel or power for Link's arm abilities, given he seems to have a strange new right arm. So my money is on some kind of battery where we've got to go and collect whatever is in that vial to power up that Sheikah Slate. Well, next up at number 9, we've got tears that could be the literal Tears of the Kingdom. So on the mural, where we see this big new figure that's surrounded by 7 items, they appear to be quotation marks, runes, or perhaps even the Tears of the Kingdom, referenced by the title of the game. On many Zelda adventures, we've got to collect items, or we are directed around Hyrule either by completing dungeons in previous games, or we had the Divine Beasts in Breath of the Wild, and it's highly likely we're going to need to collect these 7 runes or tears, and they'll help give us back some power or help level us up to take on Ganondorf, or perhaps whoever this large creature is, surrounded by these 7 items. Well, we have collected tears before in a Zelda game, in Skyward Sword, which does appear to be linked to Tears of the Kingdom in many ways. So in Skyward Sword we collected sacred tears. So the sacred tears back in that game, they were found within the Silent Realm of each respective region. So we had the Tears of Farour found in Faron Woods, the Tears of Din, that was in the Eldin Volcano, and the Tears of Nehru in the Lananehru Desert, and the Sacred Tears in Skyloft. Well, to leave the Silent Realm, you have to obtain a new item required to locate the Sacred Flames, and later on the Triforce, and then Link had to collect the 15 Sacred Tears that were stored in the Spirit Vessel. Well, next up we've got the Twilight Realms. A big feature of the new trailer is that mural at the beginning, and it takes up roughly half of that trailer, so it is really important. So this mural details a large being surrounded by 7 items, and the very first opening scene is really interesting with bokoblins and moblins appearing to attack soldiers holding swords. So there's lines along the ground which look very familiar. It's a similar design found in Twilight Princess, and the same lines appear in the logo for the bottom half of the Master Sword, plus you got that design on Link's arm. These lines or markings are very similar to those found in the Twilight Realm in Twilight Princess, meaning we could about to enter the Twilight Realm once again. Well, next up at number 7, we've got the Skyloft Connection. So there's been many comparisons between Tears of the Kingdom and Skyward Sword in terms of design. For example, Link skydiving looks very similar between the two games. Plus another similarity are the floating islands above Hyrule. Or in Tears of the Kingdom, parts of Hyrule start to lift into the air, and it looks like we're going to be exploring not only Hyrule itself, but the floating islands in the sky. Well, Skyloft, back in Skyward Sword, was a floating island as well, albeit a very large one, and that was our original location in Skyward Sword. So Tears of the Kingdom could be calling back to the original Skyward Sword in terms of design, or perhaps it could be something even more. So Tears of the Kingdom could be the Zelda game at the very end of the timeline, with Skyward Sword at the start, and the whole curse of Link and Zelda and Ganondorf fighting through the ages could be one massive circle of time. The Sky Islands that break off Hyrule and raise up into the sky here in Tears of the Kingdom could be Skyloft in the past, and that would have major timeline and Zelda lore implications, but I'm going to get into that circle of time in just a few minutes. Well, at number 6, we've got Link's right arm. So Link's right arm is still modified here every time we see Link in the trailer. So we've had a closer look at his arm in the E3 2021 trailer and also the delay trailer from 2022. So with Link wearing his blue tunic and also his wrist armor as well. And most of his arm is covered up, but we can see those long fingernails. This is likely from that encounter we saw in the E3 2019 trailer with Link and Zelda encountering what we think is Ganondorf under Hyrule Castle. So it is highly likely to be very powerful magic that is attached to Link to transform his arm. What this magic is or who it belongs to remains a big secret for the moment. Well, next up at number 5, we've got Traversing the Sky. So in the trailer, we see a couple of moments of action going on in the sky. First of all, Link opens up the big double doors and sprints towards the edge, skydiving off without much of a second thought. Later, in the trailer, we see Link grab onto a piece of an island that's going back up into the sky. And although we've seen this type of animation or visual treatment before, with Link activating some kind of rewind feature, back then it was rewinding a spike ball going down a hill towards Link, and he used the ability to send it back up the hill. This time, it looks like he's using it as a traversal method, with a piece of Sky Island dropping down, now going back up into the sky again, and Link holding on for the ride. Well, next at number 4, we've got the Sky Mount, and we are very, very likely to have huge areas to explore in Tears of the Kingdom. So we've got Hyrule on the ground, the Sky Islands above Hyrule, and there's going to be travelling up and down between them. So we're very likely to have fights in the sky, if Nintendo's patents are to be believed, with various poses and postures for Link shooting arrows as he falls. We haven't seen too much of the Sky Islands just yet, although here in this trailer we see Link regularly travelling up and down in the sky. Well, as well as fighting in the sky, we're going to have to travel large distances in the sky. It looks like we've got a Sky Mount. In the trailer, we see Link diving through the sky from above, landing on a wooden wing vehicle of some kind. We don't see Link call that vehicle, but it definitely looks like a deliberate landing from Link here. So before you land on the wing, it's likely you have to summon it. So we've seen this before with horses on the ground. We have to whistle, and a horse comes along. You can jump on a horse, and we could be about to do the same thing in the air. Well, next at number 3, it's a location shrouded in the clouds. So when we see Link travelling upwards in the sky, in the background to the left, we can see a sky island, or series of sky islands that may be connected, and they are shrouded in very, very dark clouds. It looks like there's a lightning storm there also, and this could be a dungeon location in Tears of the Kingdom. Given we potentially have 7 items to collect, as indicated by the runes on the tapestry at the start of the trailer, this could be one of the locations for a dungeon set in the skies of Hyrule. Well, at number 2, it looks like Malice is coming out of the top of Death Mountain. So in the shot of Link falling to the ground, just before he lands on the wooden wing to travel in the sky, we do get to see a quick glimpse of Death Mountain in the background. Only this time, it looks like Malice is coming up and out of the top of Death Mountain. So in the previous trailers, Malice has been bubbling up and out from below Hyrule Castle, and here it looks like it's spread to all 4 corners of Hyrule, completely corrupting all of Hyrule itself. So back in Breath of the Wild, the Malice was most concentrated around Hyrule Castle, but if Death Mountain is erupting Malice itself, who knows what kind of damage this has done to the rest of the land. Well, finally, at number 1, time is a circle. So we touched on this point briefly before, but the logo for Tears of the Kingdom does give away some interesting clues about the theme of the game. So we've got a dragon eating its own tail, and it is a really, really important design. It's called an Ouroboros. So the Ouroboros is an ancient symbol depicting a serpent or a dragon eating its own tail. The Ouroboros entered Western tradition via ancient Egypt iconography and the Greek magical tradition. So the Ouroboros is often interpreted as a symbol for eternal cyclic renewal or a cycle of life, death and rebirth. So this could be referring to Demise's curse, where on being defeated by Link in Skyward Sword, he cursed Link and Zelda to face off against his hatred for eternity, which would eventually become Ganon. Skyward Sword is the first canonical game in the Legend of Zelda series, and Tears of the Kingdom could be the last game of the timeline, with all the other mainline entries taking place somewhere in the middle. And the Zelda timeline is notoriously complicated, with branching narratives, and Nintendo could be trying to tie this all together with a sensible story. Well, let me know in the comments what you think of the Tears of the Kingdom trailer, and let me know if I've missed any details that you've been thinking about. Well, that is it for 10 details you may have missed from the Tears of the Kingdom trailer. And as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Legend of Zelda content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to Triforce Times. Or you can check me out on Twitter at Triforce Times. Well, if you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.